Welcome to Tehachapi. Sit back and relax as Key Budge and Corey Costello talk about things that are happening in and around Tehachapi. Here's Corey and Key.
Welcome to another edition of Tehachapi. Today we have in studio, it's Corey Costello and myself. We're sitting in and we've got Miss California, United States, Miss Tiffany Rea, who happens to also be an in-house employee here at the city of Tehachapi.
See, I was hoping we were going to act like it was a big deal that we got Miss California on the show. You just gave away the fact that, she works right down the hall. We should have been like, we pulled this some strings. We got how many other podcasts get a pageant queen here? Not many.
Oh, we could always do it again.
I guess we'll just be honest.
I was also Miss Tehachapi, though.
Boom.
So.
There we go.
Boom. There you go.
Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much. It still hasn't really set in yet to be able to say I'm Miss California.
It was awesome. I got a text with a bunch of us on Saturday, I think it was, and It was a picture of Tiffany in her gown and the sash and the crown and said, "I did it, guys, I won." And it was awesome to see that. And everybody was so excited for her because we know how much she's worked. And this isn't easy stuff. I mean, I'll probably let Tiffany explain the ins and outs, but let me tell you, I think to see what she goes through to get to this point is pretty impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of hard work and dedication, that's for sure.
All right, let's hear about it, though. Let's take us back to this Miss California event, and then we'll kind of break down and go back into what it takes to get to that position. So what was it like? What was this event? We've seen these on TV. I mean, what's it like as a contestant? You're participating in this.
It's really nerve-wracking, doing this. This is my 14th year of pageantry, and this year it was a lot different because, we have an unexpected global pandemic. And so we had to be really creative with how we went about it. So the director, she did a really, really great job, providing masks, disinfecting, keeping us all socially distanced. So that was just a challenge in itself. And, you have all these girls put in this small building during that. And that's really, it's difficult. But yes, there's so many different areas of pageantry that people don't expect behind the scenes to get ready for, interview, swimsuit, evening gown. So putting all those together, it's very time consuming, but it's also it's a big learning experience, and you learn more about yourself than you've ever known.
And you were Miss Kern County, United States, so you were representing the county of Kern.
Correct.
And was there a representative from each county within the state of California?
Pretty much, yes. It depends on where the girl was from. She could choose what her city title or go for county.
So let's talk about the Miss United States pageant itself. So there's a variety of different pageants and organizations. And so like Key said, you see some on TV, some you don't. So talk about Miss United States and what kind of sets that apart and what that pageant and crown is all about.
Okay, well, you do know the big main systems, Miss America, Miss USA, Miss United States. So Miss United States has actually been around for quite some time, and it's actually going to be televised this year, which is really exciting. But the reason I choose this system is because it's very platform and community service based. So when you compete in a pageant, you are asked to pick on a platform, which is an organization that you support. So I chose mine, and I created my own, which is promoting volunteerism through mentorship, because I couldn't pick just one organization that I liked. So I've really developed a lot of different areas to it, and I've actually recently created a group that promotes the fight against human trafficking here in the town. So it's just something that I try to participate in any different way that I can for community service.
And that's one of the other parts of it too. I mean, there's so much involved with like you pointed out, it's not just, you don't just pick one of these things. Like you said, you decided on Miss United States because of the community service aspect of it. And then, by the way, on the side, I just started my own nonprofit. I mean, this is what Tiffany brings to the table. Right. Talk about that organization a little bit and the nonprofit group that you work with, the mentoring, and then again, the fight against human trafficking.
Under my platform, I've created my nonprofit, which is called Carrying Crowns. And I really just mentor all walks of life because it's so universal. I've been lucky to have so many different mentors in my life, such as 4 older brothers, my 2 parents. I did sports growing up, dance, and, just all throughout school. So I always thought, why can't other kids have that? And when you hear a pageant queen say, I want to be a positive role model, well, what does that really mean? So through my platform, I promote the essence of pageantry, which is to help others. And I truly believe that it's my mission in life to serve others. And it's been a deciding factor in my career, continuing in pageants, just so many different facets. And then with the human trafficking, it's a group through Operation Underground Railroad, which is a nonprofit organization started by Tim Ballard. He is a former CIA agent, and he created it just because of what he saw, so he wanted to do more on a personal level.
I've heard about human trafficking here in Kern County.
Yes.
It's real, it exists, and these girls have been victimized from other parts of the country, California, and they're brought here. Some are removed from here, kidnapped, and taken to other places, moved into sex trafficking, prostitution.
Right.
Do you have an idea of where you're going to be involved, here as far as Kern County? Is it going to extend down to Bakersfield, which I know a large footprint of this exists?
Well, mainly in Tehachapi, what we'll do is we'll start doing fundraisers. You start up as a group, and then as it progresses, you turn into a team. So I want to do any type of fundraiser that I can for Operation Underground Railroad to provide funds, because on average it takes about $10,000 to save one child from human trafficking. So it's a big opportunity and a big responsibility as well. And I would love to be able to expand to any parts of the county, all throughout the state, now that I can promote it as Miss California.
What's the process like for you going into, I'm intrigued by this, because I would literally look at this like you're like an athlete, right? I mean, you have to train, you have to do the homework, you have to be prepared mentally. So what's the preparation like when you get into maybe quote unquote pageant season, or as you're getting ready to prepare for these things? What is your schedule like? Workouts, diets, all that stuff?
It's a lot of prioritizing. And right now I am in school full time, and then I'm also working here at the city. So it's a lot of priority. What's due next as far as paperwork? Can I fit in a workout here for 30 minutes, even if it's not super like impactful and like crazy.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to do your homework when it comes to doing your platform. And that includes community service. And with this pandemic, it's difficult to get out there and be safe. So you have to really embrace the challenge of a pandemic and get really creative with it. But yeah, it's a lot of mental preparation too, to be able to get up there and, speak in front of people and know what you want to say. And it's a lot of personal development, because you're joining this to grow as a person and to get experience. So it's important to know what you want to say and what you want the judges to know.
What was that moment like for you on stage? Kind of done all this background work, and then you did the pageant in unique circumstances because it wasn't the event that it's been in years past. And so what was that moment like when you heard the announcement and your name called?
Well, I think any pageant girl can agree, once you hear your name called, it doesn't set in right away. You're like, wait, was that really my name that was called? And in this system, they usually call the first runner up first. So you don't want to hear your name called in the final two. So once it is, it's like, oh my gosh. And I probably had a really different crowning moment, because I threw my hands up on my head. Like, I was so shocked, and I started crying. And in years past, when I had won other pageants, I don't think I ever cried. So it was a lot of work. And I think as you grow older in any hobby that you have, you hit that point as, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I want? And I had felt it this year that I had wanted this title more than I've ever wanted anything in pageantry. So to be able to reach that goal and attain it, it's really rewarding.
Now, I know there's a lot of support that you get.
Yes.
It's as you take center stage, but getting there, who's been behind you in support to get you to where you're at right now?
Definitely my family, first and foremost. As I mentioned earlier, I have 4 older brothers, and I'm the baby, so I'm the only girl. So it was kind of like my mom and I, it was our girl time, and she's definitely been the biggest foundation that I've had, along with my dad. And they've always been there. They've always done whatever they could to help me and, get the proper coaches. And I've always had wonderful directors that would always, give me their direction and give me their thoughts, their opinions. And it truly takes a village to create a pageant queen. That is for sure.
And the director is like your coach, sort of?
Yes, she's the director of the pageant. So she puts on the production. And then once you're crowned, she just guides the title holders to nationals and throughout her year.
Oh, nice. Who do you have? Do you have other folks like kind of in your corner on your team that are there on pageant day and that kind of stuff?
It's just always my family if they can make it. You know, it's always my parents, and I have a wonderful boyfriend who's really supportive right now, and it's really interesting to see the family that you develop through years of doing this. I've developed relationships and friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Now, where do you go from here? This lands you into another level of competition?
Correct.
When does that take place? How far off in the future do you have to prepare?
So Miss United States is actually in October this year, and it will be held in Las Vegas, Nevada, which I'm super excited. I actually was fortunate to compete last year as Miss Nevada. I was appointed the title because I won first runner-up at Miss California, and I actually lived in Nevada before moving here. And last year I made top 10. So to be able to get not just one chance to compete at Miss United States, it's competing twice. So hopefully I'll make top 10 or bring home the crown.
That's exciting.
Awesome. You said it was going to be on TV this year?
Yes, it is going to
cool.
be televised.
Nice. You mentioned being in class full time. What's your, I mean, obviously beyond, once you win Miss United States, because it's a done deal, but what's long-term for you? I mean, I know you've been in school, you've got career aspirations, very admirable. So, you know, what is it for you down the road?
Well, right now I'm a full-time online student, which is very helpful with pageantry. And I'm attending Liberty University online, and I'm getting my criminal justice degree with a focus in crime scene investigation and a minor in psychology. So actually becoming involved in human trafficking now, I've actually been inspired to become a victim specialist and focus on rehabilitation for victims.
I mean, piece of cake. You've got. I mean, can she fit any more into her? I mean, come on. This is super impressive.
The work that you'll be doing with the nonprofit, that will be some nice background, nice little resume pad, if you will, once you've got your criminology or that degree in that field, that you've actually got some volunteer experience, you know, in that arena. So that is a big deal.
Absolutely.
You brought with you, I mean, I think you have to, is it required now that you roll with the crown and sash everywhere you go? Is that kind of like just in case someone needs to take a photo?
Pretty much. It's pretty much always in my car. But I mean, it's kind of like, it's also for my pleasure too, to see it. It's like, oh, I miss California. I can't forget.
It comes with it does, and it travels in its own caboodle. It's got its own.
Yes.
It's got its own caboodle.
That is impressive.
And I know what that is, actually. Tiffany was like, I can't believe you know what that was. I'm like, come on.
I know. I almost passed out when you said it. I was like,
I didn't say case like a barbarian. I didn't say bag. No, it's a caboodle.
It is a caboodle.
Plus, it's also zebra striped, so it's a caboodle that way too.
Noted.
Yeah, right?
I had no clue.
You'll learn lots of things working with the pageant queen.
Now, I know you've got something coming up here in Tehachapi, another event.
Yes.
And I know you're excited about it because this is the first time that you've put this together.
Yes.
And but I've seen you at some of ours that we've done. So let's talk about what you've got coming up in the coming weeks.
So my first official appearance as Miss California United States here in my town is the blood drive that I'm hosting with Tehachapi Community Blood Bank. It is on August 29th, and anybody who tests does get a free COVID-19 antibody test. And we're also partnering with TK's Pizza and Pasta here in town, and they are offering a free cheesy bread with any meal purchased.
So Tehachapi's going to send up their mobile blood bank.
Correct.
And they're going to set it up there in the parking lot just outside of TK's. Lots of room out there.
Yes.
And you'll be out there as well?
I will. I will be donating myself. This will be my second time.
Nice.
Excellent. And then the nice thing is that TK's has jumped on board, said, yeah, we want to help the community. We want to help you out with this cause.
Thank you.
And it's going to be very well supported. And if people want to sign up, because I know Tehachapi likes to have reservations.
Correct.
What should people do if they've got free time? And what are the times of the drive?
So it starts at 11 a.m. and it ends at 2 p.m. And you can go to Tehachapi's website and you can register online. Like he mentioned that they are preferred, so they know how many people to expect. But if you aren't able to make an appointment, definitely come by and come save a life.
HCBB
Yes.
for HehachapiCommunityBloodBank.com. Go to schedules, and then you'll look down for Tehachapi, and then you'll find Tiffany's event, and you can reserve a spot.
And you made the comment about this being an appearance. Normally, on a normal year, you'd probably have, we'd have you in everything. We'd be like, oh, the Mountain Festival Parade. Hey, we're going to have Miss California and the grand opening. And you would have been all over the place.
Right.
This year, that stuff's not happening. So is it kind of a disappointment? Is it kind of a relief because that's a big burden? Or is it just you're still happy just to be Miss California and,
Well, of course, I'm happy to be Miss California regardless, but it is actually kind of a disappointment because I've been in our parades ever since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I think last year was the first year that I wasn't. So this year it's definitely different. And like I said earlier, for community service and getting out there, it's definitely going to take some creativity, but it'll be worth it.
Well, you had Tehachapi instead.
And I was going to say, this is actually your first appearance.
Oh, that is true.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so the second appearance will be the blood drive.
That is true.
You got
as
me
well.
first.
Yeah.
For the Miss California United States event, what was the events that you have to go through? You mentioned there was the formal gown.
Correct.
And what other?
So it begins with a private interview with the judges, which I was actually top interview this last weekend.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. And then swimsuit and evening gown.
Very good.
Gotcha. Yeah, neither one of those I'm going to be in anytime soon.
You or I, Corey, we just look at you. No,
Not going to happen.
Ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is the first interview that Tiffany had done, but she's going to hopefully down the road be interviewed by people with a lot more experience in this genre, instead of these two guys.
It's basically you came on to ESPN right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. But no, I do. I mean, I think there is comparisons to what Tiffany does to what like an athlete does.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, 100%. I don't know how. I mean, perfect example. So Tiffany comes back to work yesterday and she brings us donuts. She's the one who won, but she brought us donuts for like a thank you. She didn't eat any. She just
how many
left them.
did you have?
Yeah, none. How do you do
Of
that?
course, I had one or
okay.
two.
Yeah.
I'm not one to turn down a donut.
There you
trust me.
go. But
I'm
the
bad with
willpower on this girl, I don't know how she does it. Like, I don't know. I can't do it.
Well, your blood drive that's coming up, it's nice to have another location where people can go.
Right.
And the fact that we've got another business besides a government agency involved, that this is great. So, I mean, that's fantastic that you guys reached out to TKs, got them on board, and they're excited about it. It gives the opportunity for our community because it seems like every time we turn around, there's a need for blood. During this pandemic, there is. And the fact that folks can go and donate blood and then get the COVID test as well.
Yeah.
I know the last time I had donated a few weeks back, I got a result back saying it was negative on the COVID-19. It was, I knew I was feeling good, but it's kind of like, okay, all right, been doing the right thing. Right. But if you came back and you had a positive and you didn't know that you were sick, it just shows that you were positive. Now you go into another category where they're going to look and want to take your platelets.
Yeah.
That plasma becomes so valuable. So this is another cool tool. So, thank you for doing that.
And another thing that I love about Houchin is that they let you know when and if your blood is used to save a life. You'll get an email and it'll tell you where it's being transported. And I think that's a really good feeling. I think that's a really neat touch to know.
Yeah, every time you donate blood, it can impact 3 people, or one person can actually take up 30, 40 or more units of blood. So depending on the severity of someone's injury or need, one blood drive could go to one person, or one blood drive could help save 100 people.
Correct.
Yeah. And based on really the response we've seen from the blood drives we've co-sponsored with, I mean, people up here they're still giving, not despite the challenges provided by COVID. They're still out there. They're donating, which is great. And I hope that we'll have the same turnout for Tiffany's blood drive. And again, you've got Miss California, you've got TK's Pizza. Like that's 2 solid partners here in Tehachapi. So excited about that.
Free cheesy bread.
Of course.
It's on the table. You get the COVID test and get a chance to say hi to Tiffany and congratulate her. That, again, what's the date again going to be?
August 29th.
At TK's from 11 to 2, right on Tehachapi Boulevard. Sign up in advance. Walk-ins are welcome, but if you sign up in advance, your time is guaranteed, and that's at hcbb.com. Go to schedules, and you can make your appointment.
And if you just drive by, just look for the crown. It'll be glistening in the sun. You'll know where you're in the right spot.
And I have some really awesome shoes I'm excited to debut.
What do blood donation shoes look like?
They light up.
Okay, so this is where you can tell I'm definitely into biology, criminal justice, that's aspect. So I was at Nordstrom Rack the other day and I was looking for an outfit for the blood drive because, Queen has to show up. So I saw these shoes and I was like, I have to have them. So they're red and they have like red polka dots on it. And the first thing that came to my mind was the biology experiment that I had to do a few weeks ago where we were learning about blood typing. So it reminded me of when like blood clotting,
Oh, yeah.
agglutination and stuff. So I'm like, I'm totally going to talk to the nurses because they'll appreciate that.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, that's, I mean, the fact that you needed to go pick out a blood drive outfit is the right person for the job right
Oh,
here.
yes.
It is. Yeah. I'm wearing something that I cycled through 2 weeks ago that I wore into the office.
Yeah, I need something you can easily roll my sleeve up. When I think,
Right.
okay, what's my blood donation outfit? Okay, well, I want either short sleeves or a long sleeve you can easily roll up.
Yes.
You
My
know.
outfits are always planned around shoes. That's a unique fact about my outfits. They're always planned around my shoes.
And maybe that was the determining factor in the pageant. Maybe the shoes were on point.
Possibly.
Well, your next big event is going to be in October. That's Miss United States.
Correct.
So we wish you all the luck in the
Thank
world
you.
for that. And then, of course, on the much closer terms, we've got our blood drive, and then what you're doing with your nonprofit to help these victims of human trafficking. So exciting and very wonderful, deep things that you're involved in.
And I'm encouraged by the piece of the human trafficking piece, because this has been an issue. It's an issue that it continues to, I feel like, get worse, but we're so distracted by COVID-19 that this is getting overlooked slightly, but it's a problem. And it's finally coming to light with enough people that are starting to figure out how to fight this and stop this just horrible thing.
And through my platform promoting volunteerism through mentorship, I'm actually creating a safety initiative to teach kids right now, since they're on social media now more than ever, internet safety, social media safety. And since I'm in the public eye, I've learned a few things throughout the years, and I want to utilize those skills and teach kids and even girls, my age, older, men, women, anybody, that it's real, it's out there, and there's so many different facets to trafficking that people don't realize, and that it's all around you.
And that's where these children are being cultivated.
Yes, on social media. It's the perfect time for predators to groom children, because they're on social media, they're using their tablets, they're using their phones, and their parents are distracted because, they're wondering, what am I going to do for work, for school, for different types of things, and everybody's under stress. So people will definitely take advantage of that. And I keep saying, as I'm posting on all my social media, it can be anyone it can happen to anyone. There's no discrimination when it comes to human trafficking.
And I think we're starting to use words to describe it much more accurately.
Yes.
You talked about predator.
Correct.
Okay. We're talking about kidnapping. We're talking about the threats, deep threats. And these are targeted underage, where it just used to be, it's a working girl. It's prostitution. And it was just kind of fluffed off.
Right.
And it's so much deeper than that at this levels of where we're starting to see and actually acknowledge, I think, as a society. And the social media aspect of this, I think, where parents have to pay attention to what their kids are doing, who they're talking to.
Right.
It's huge. And, whatever we can do to help support that. So,
Right. And with Operation Underground Railroad, anybody can sign up to be a volunteer. So anybody listening to this, I urge you to go to their website and become a volunteer, and you have to take mandatory training to learn the signs of human trafficking.
And as a parent of young children, I mean, this is like one of the probably number one most terrifying things that I have to deal with, that every parent does. But as a parent of young kids, and you start thinking to yourself, like, I don't want my kids to have a cell phone until they're 27 at this rate, because it's just that ease of access, but like we pointed out, I mean, people starting to turn that corner where folks are being trained, doing things like Tiffany are doing, and creating these nonprofits to help provide that training to know the signs, is huge. And that's where, that this is not going to be an issue that's solved by law enforcement alone. It's going to have to take a lot of community action for sure.
it's so difficult for law enforcement. I mean, you got to play the undercover game, but it really takes other organizations like this one to start to identify, and identify girls that have been taken from their lives.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit scary. It's very sad.
It is.
And the threats that go along with this and all the other things that are involved. There's so many layers to this onion, but it's much deeper than what we've ever acknowledged in the past. So, congratulations for picking that up as one of your platforms to go with. I think it's a big deal.
I think those ones from a judge's standpoint, not that I'm a judge, but my point is, looking at somebody who's I want to, maybe someone says, I just want to clean the ocean. Well, that's cool. But I mean, something like this is a tangible, like serious issue that someone's looking to try to tackle head on, and with some partnerships like that to me is like carrying weight. That's sort of really making a difference as opposed to just talking about it to score interview points.
Right.
Correct. Yes. And when it comes to forming a platform, and I'm also a pageant coach for girls, and I always tell them, you choose something that you are passionate about, not something that just sounds good, because people will know. And when you're out there advocating for it, it's your responsibility to do the work. And this is something that I've been passionate about for a while, because I have personal experience with people reaching out to me that, shouldn't be, and feeling those uncomfortable feelings. And I'm an aunt to, little girls and little boys. And, I'm not even a parent, but I can relate to that. And I couldn't even imagine if that happened in my family. And it's a terrible issue. But also with the volunteering and promoting mentorship, it works side by side. So it coincides, and it's a universal platform that anybody can pick up, because anybody can volunteer. Anybody can be a mentor, and it's our responsibility to help those in need.
Awesome.
How can the community follow this journey with you? Do you have any social media for, your initiative, and also for yourself and your pageantry, so that way they can see this journey and how you're doing with your initiatives?
Yes. So the pageant does have established Instagram and Facebook accounts under Miss California United States. And you can also follow my personal profile that you'll see if you go on there. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I also started a Facebook page called Motivation Movement. And I felt like it was really necessary, because we were going through really unexpected times, and mental and physical health was deteriorating. So I just wanted to provide a community where people could come and share something positive, share something happy, and then participate in any way that they could.
Awesome. No, I think that these are all more reasons to be happy for Tiffany, to be proud of her, for this entire community to be proud of the fact that, Miss California hails from Tehachapi and continues to work here and go to school. And I mean, these are all things that you say, this is why we're, we like to associate ourselves with these kinds of people and get these kinds of guests on our podcast, to be honest with you too.
We're excited for you.
Thank you so much.
And we can hardly wait till you come back in October holding that next crown.
I'll get a bigger caboodle for my crown.
That's right. If they let fans in this thing by October, I don't know if they will, but I don't know, maybe we'll get a cheering section going.
That would be amazing.
Corey will carry in that next caboodle for you, because I'm sure it'll be that size.
Your next caboodle needs wheels. It needs wheels. You don't
and
have to
it needs to be
carry it.
bedazzled.
And bedazzled.
I'll leave that up to you, Corey.
Absolutely. I got a bedazzler somewhere in the closet, I'm sure.
Although Corey told me coming back, he would have rose petals thrown at me when I walked, and he didn't. So
I did say on Saturday, I'm like, okay, someone said, well, do we need to refer to you as Your Highness, all this stuff? And I said, well, do we need to throw rose petals at your feet? If so, not a problem. I just have to let the cleaning crew know ahead of time that they're going to be vacuuming more at City Hall. So, and she did ask yesterday, where were the rose petals at? So total fail on my part. I'm going to run to the farmer's market here, and I don't know, I'll throw like okra leaves at her feet, or okra kernels. I don't know.
Whatever works.
This is Tehachapi, so.
Right. I'll go buy some cabbage and just leaf it off and do that way.
Well, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for taking serious initiatives and making efforts to make some positive change.
Thank you.
So I think it's very admirable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we got to wrap this up so we can get pictures with in studio with the crown and the sash.
That's right.
Got to happen.
All right, folks. If you've got a question or a topic you'd like us to talk about, you can reach out to Corey, Greg Garrett, or myself through media@TehachapiCityHall.com. If you'd like to send a message to Miss California United States, Tiffany Rea, you can also send that message via media@TehachapiCityHall.com. Thank you for joining us on Tehachapod.
Tehachapod is a conversation about Tehachapi designed for the people who live here or who would like to know more about this mountaintop community. If you have a question you would like answered, email media@TehachapiCityHall.com. We will try to answer it on a future episode of Tehachapod.